morning and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another week in my life vlog. This is a very exciting week for a few different reasons, but I will say the most exciting part of it is that I am finally sharing that I am pregnant. As of today, I am 14 and a half weeks, but I'll be sharing at 15 weeks, which will be by the time this vlog goes up. And I'm doing a few things this week that I want to be able to document and share with you. Tomorrow, I will only be at school in the morning. I have to leave for an appointment in the afternoon. I don't know if I'm getting an ultrasound tomorrow, but I'm really hopeful. The last time we saw baby was at 8.5 weeks. Heard the heartbeat at 12, but it would just be really great to see how baby has grown. So I'm really hoping that we get an ultrasound tomorrow. When all goes well tomorrow, we're going to be sharing on Thursday. So I bought a few things that I'm going to use. We're going to take a picture and post it on Thursday. And then Saturday, we are having our gender reveal with just a couple friends. So I'll be doing all of the prep and everything for that as well. Obviously, this is a very big life update. There has been a lot going on in the past 14 weeks that I haven't shared with you. I've been very sick, very tired, and just enough motivation to get through each day. So I'm looking forward to, now that I'm in the second trimester, hopefully that easing up a little bit, but we're not there yet. Still got sick this morning, so we're doing the best we can. I'm also going to share with my students this week. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I think that if I'm posting on Thursday, I will share with them on Friday. There's a lot to figure out, but I just wanted to share that quickly this morning before people start arriving at school. Obviously, I'll have a lot more to share this week, just about how everything has been going and some things to look forward to. We are just so thankful every single day that baby continues to grow and no complaints about the rest of it. So that's where we're at. I just got to school this morning. It's Monday morning. I have quite the mess of things that I need to deal with this morning. I actually got last week, I think it was. No, not last week. Last week we only had one day of school, but the week before I was working on a Cricut project. I'm working with Cricut over on Instagram, and they sent me their new machine. That way I could film some content with it, but I was having trouble getting it set up. So I brought everything home to troubleshoot that this weekend, but that just didn't happen this weekend, and that's okay. I have everything here to hopefully get it done this morning. If not at lunch or after school, it has to be done today. So we'll do that. I need to make sure that I'm all set up for this week. I'm pretty sure all of my copies and everything done, but with only one day last week, it was kind of crazy getting everybody in, getting our Friday things done, getting ready for this week, all just within one day. But luckily, I am at least roughly planned out a couple weeks ahead of time, and I just planned digitally, so everything can be very easily moved around, which of course last week a lot of things had to be moved around because we had 3 unexpected days off, so I just pushed things back, and that's very easy to do because I planned digitally. So I have a meeting this morning that I probably should just write a few subplans for. It'll take maybe an hour, hour and a half. And then tomorrow I have my appointment, so I will be leaving at 11 o'clock. And I wrote my subplans for that last week. But in the morning we have like a bunch of random things going on, so I'm really barely going to be teaching tomorrow before I leave. And then in the afternoon, I think I just put, I'm leaving 99 math, reading, and then after lunch will be rotations. So I have a science lesson. I need to print stuff for that today, and a read aloud. So that'll be it tomorrow. But I do need to print for that and print out the subplans. And looking ahead to the rest of the week, everything else is planned, printed, and prepped. So that's great. All right, I'm gonna go do some printing, hopefully work on my Cricut this morning, get myself kind of settled in for the day today. Just wanted to share that and check in with you this morning. I will be vlogging the rest of the week, and I am very much looking forward to it. I'll check in later. All right, it's after school now. It is already 4:40. My kids left about an hour ago, and I normally never stay after school, especially because I always come in early, work through my lunch and all of that. But I just had so many things that I felt like were halfway done and I needed to get done today. Plus, my teacher bestie and I just had a really good chat, which I will always stay after for. While we were talking, I was able to finish my Cricut little project that I was working on. I did not have time to troubleshoot setting up my new Cricut, so I just did it quickly on the little Joy Extra machine, which I love and absolutely recommend if you're looking for a Cricut, especially one that you're going to use in the classroom and at home. It's just a little smaller, which is the only reason why I would be using my bigger one if I want to cut larger amounts. But anyway, I really like that one. I was able to use it, got that done really quickly. Then I finished grading and putting in some math tests that we took. I'm just trying to finalize all of that stuff before tomorrow. Last two things I need to do really quickly: film a reel, and then I also want to post a story of some sort. I've been terrible at keeping up with my stories, partly because I am so busy every time I'm at school working on school things, and then on the other hand, at the end of the day, I'm just so exhausted and ready to go home that I just don't think about posting before I leave, and I don't take pictures through the day, so I just don't have anything. But I'm actually feeling pretty good right now, so I'm glad to be able to get some things done. I'm done with this though, so I'm going to shut everything down. I just have to film that quick reel, probably post a story as I am leaving, and then I will be done for today. I did make sure that my sub plans for tomorrow are looking good. I just have to print them in the morning, make sure that there aren't any last minute changes that I need to make, and I'll print those off. I also printed all of the materials that she'll need, and that is all I needed to get done today. So it was a productive Monday. Very much looking forward to tomorrow. I'm gonna get this stuff done, that way I can go home, and then I will check in with you back here tomorrow morning. Good morning, happy Tuesday. I just went and printed my sub plans for the day. We have a lot of schedule changes today. This morning we have a whole school event for a little bit, and that takes our plan time for the day. But after that, we're going to do snack because we only have 15 minutes before we have to go to library. We had to swap our library time for today. We're going to go a little bit earlier. Right after library, I have 8 of my students are going to go to a spelling bee rehearsal. Spelling bee is tomorrow, so they're preparing for that. Then I'm going to do the writing lesson before I go. And after I leave, they're going to have time for 99 math, reading. They'll get ready for recess. It'll be science for all 3 classes, and then I left a read aloud. So that's it for today. This is what my sub will need for this afternoon in science. So I'm all ready to go there. I don't really have anything I need to prep for today because I'm only doing a writing lesson, and that's ready to go. Yesterday I went through and I graded all of their math tests. I just went through and put the points and added them up, but now I take the test, and this is something I make for all assessments, large projects, things like that. I have a little rubric. On the rubric I have all of the essential learnings, the things on our report card that I have to grade them on. So for this test I was looking at whether they can find equivalent fractions, add and subtract fractions with the same denominator, and then converting fractions to decimals and decimals to fractions. So now I go through and I also put the numbers of each of the questions that parents can look at to see what I was looking at when I was grading those things. I'm going to go through on the test, look at those numbers, and give them a grade, either a B, D, or S in all of those categories. Then what I do is I put all of their assessments from the unit together in a packet. So I have my rubric, I put their unit test on top, their latest checkpoint. This time we had 2 checkpoints. And then at the very bottom, I put the screener that we used in the beginning of the unit. I have all this in alphabetical order, ready to put all together into my packets. So first I need to go through with the rubrics. When I'm done with the rubric, I'll staple it to the test, put those in alphabetical order, then I just make my piles, then put the packets together all at once. So that's on the schedule for this morning, and it always feels really good to have all of that done. Oh, I forgot, I also have to put the grades from the rubric into my grade book. So after I make the packets, I put the grades into the grade book, and then all the packets are going to go into the little binders bin over there. It's actually filling up, so I think I'm going to send leadership binders home this week. We'll put all of that into their binders, send it home, that way parents can look at it. It's good timing because their report cards are going home this week, so they can look at it all at once. But that's it for this morning. Like I said, I'm leaving at 11 o'clock for my appointment. Looking forward to that, of course. Really hoping that we get an ultrasound, but we will just have to see. I'm going to be busy grading some math, and I'll check in with you later. I just got home, and I cannot film while I'm there, but I didn't get an ultrasound anyway, sadly. They told me my next one will be at 20 weeks for the anatomy scan, so I scheduled that. And then now I am home. I just have to submit a reel really quickly, but I just wanted to check in and say that the appointment went well. She did use the Doppler to check on baby's heart and all sounded good. Best sound ever. The plan now is to tell a few more friends, a few in person tomorrow, and then we have to make some phone calls before posting on Thursday. I bought these balloons on Amazon, so I was thinking that I could set them up and then we could stand in front of them with our ultrasound. I also really wanted an ultrasound today because I want one that's more up to date. Mine was from like 8.5 weeks, so that was a while ago, but that's okay. I was just happy to hear the heart. Then on Saturday, we're gonna have a very small get together with some friends. We already know and told family what we're having, but we have not told friends yet. We ordered a cake and have a few other themed things that we're going to put together for Saturday, but those are all of the next exciting things coming up the rest of the week. I also need to figure out how I'm gonna tell my students. I don't know if I said this already, but we have a Pits and Cherries meeting every Friday in my classroom, so I was thinking that Friday afternoon. The meeting is basically pits are not so great things that happened to them this week, and cherries are the best things. They can share up to 2 of each, but for every pit they have to have a cherry. So for every negative they have to have some sort of positive. They also don't have to share any pits or negative things. They could share 1 or 2 cherries and that'd be it. I was thinking that that might be a good opportunity to tell them. I might look at other options through the week. We'll just see what comes up. So right now, submitting a reel, those are all the updates I have for now. The rest of the week, I will thankfully be at school all day, every day, so I'll be picking this up when I get back into my classroom. I'll see you then. Happy Friday. I definitely think that I've failed at vlogging this week, but it has been a very busy week. I just got to school and I did some printing. One of my coworkers was asking how I'm going to share with my students, and I said I'm not really feeling very creative, so I hadn't really come up with anything. I was just going to kind of tell them, and she shared this with me, so it's a little secret message thing that they can do. We are doing 3-digit, 4-digit addition and subtraction. We're just kind of starting that unit right now, so I didn't want to push it. I just did double-digit, some addition and subtraction problems because there were a lot of options on this resource. So they go through, solve the problem, and then based on their answer, they put a letter down here. So that's going to tell them my teacher is having a baby. I'm going to do this first thing this morning. I honestly think that some people will know, especially some of my 4th graders from last year, and obviously the staff will know. I'm hoping that my students don't overhear anything. We'll just do the best we can. I knew that was a possibility, so I'm just going to do that this morning. I also did some printing for next week. We didn't have, honestly, a lot that I needed to print last week when I printed my math. I just kind of printed ahead, so I had that all done. Writing, we're in the drafting phase, so towards the end of the week we might need a checklist, but I didn't print that yet. I'm also going to throw in this writing activity, reasons why I love being a piece of this class. This is something that I was inspired by somebody on Instagram, so I think that last year I linked their resource and I can link it again too, but they go through and they write some reasons why they love being part of our class. I give them this little cover, so they cut this out, glue it on here, that way it's kind of like a flap and they can lift to see the reasons, but they can also design a little cover. This one I'm going to copy in cardstock, so I'm going to do that later. I just did paper, and then we have the little pizza pepperoni hearts. I have a lot of these left over from last year. I printed them in different shades of pink and red, but this year I just did a few in white. That way they can either color it, whatever color they are interested in, or use some of the ones that I have from last year. Oops, I actually have some white already, but then I have these that I can use. I put this up on my door, and then I put all of their pizzas up on their lockers. Here's a little example that I'll show them so they can see how it lifts up. Decorate the front, and then I also put this together based on some things that my kids, my first year of teaching, said. Just some examples for them. The rest of this stuff is going to come over the next couple weeks. We'll do a few Valentine's Day things here and there. Okay, I just found these two, so we have plenty of options for the pepperoni pieces. I'll probably share these with my teammates so they don't have to print any materials for that. I'll have to copy this later. I'll also need to copy some math homework. I think that's it as far as my prep for next week. I need to reset my board right now, make sure I'm ready for today, and I can check in with you either at lunchtime, hopefully, or this afternoon after school. Alright, school is done now. I just said goodbye to my kids. This week, like I said earlier, has just been very busy and a lot of exciting things going on, a lot of conversations, so I haven't really had time to pick up the camera much, especially today. Everything went really well this morning with telling my class. They were surprised but really excited about it. It was fun to tell them, and I'm glad that they and everybody else know now. We did our leadership binders and that went really well too. I'm happy to have all that stuff going home. So now my binders bin is all clear now. I also worked on my e-blast. I'm pretty sure I did that during my lunch. So I just finalized everything. So all I have to do right now is press send. Okay, that's done. I'm not going to worry about resetting my whiteboard right now because I'm actually going out to dinner tonight, so I want to make sure I get home. That way we can get off to dinner. I'm looking forward to continue sharing about everything going on in the next couple of weeks. I'm honestly not quite sure everything that I've shared in this video, but I will be back at it next week with another week in my life vlog. I hope that you enjoyed coming along this week through some parts of it. I'll see you on my next one, and thank you for being here.